from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Good evening. Welcome to the National News broadcast coming to you live from the National News Studio here at Rupavahini. I'm Kasuni Balachandra.
And I'm Siobhan Pereira. Let's take a look at your headlines this evening. Prices of essential medicine has been reduced from today. The government assures that no injustice will be made for the Aswasuma beneficiaries. The fertilizer voucher system will be extended until December. The fundamental rights petition against restructuring local debts was filed at the Supreme Court. Wild elephants roaming again in Kalavav area. A record number of Hajj pilgrims will arrive in Saudi Arabia this season.
And we move on to those and other stories in detail. And in your top local story tonight, price reduction of essential medicines is effective from today. Accordingly, prices of 60 varieties of medicine will be reduced by 16%. The Health Minister issued the relevant gazette notification on the 15th of this month. Although the price reduction is effective from today, many pharmacies and drugstores had taken measures to reduce the relevant drug items. The Health Ministry says that any manufacturer, importer or any relevant stakeholder should sell medicine under the revised prices as mentioned in the gazette notification. The Health Ministry says accordingly 60 groups of essential drugs including paracetamol, amoxicillin, thyroxine and glipizide have been reduced. Expressing views in this regard, President of the Private Pharmaceutical Shops Owners Association Chandika Gankanda says that about 50 varieties of medicine that are used frequently have been reduced.
President of the Private Pharmaceutical Shop Owners Association Chandika Gankanda said that 60 pharmaceutical names means nearly 400 varieties of trade names are available in Sri Lanka. Altogether, there are 2,200 varieties of trade names of various medicines. 50% of these items are relevant to the high blood pressure, diabetes, cholesterol, heart diseases, antibiotics, medicines for asthma patients, epilepsy, and many drugs used for contagious diseases. All pharmacies under the membership of this association will pass this concession to the general public. Although the prices have been reduced by 16%, the pharmacies will have to bear a loss of about 20%. However, the association held talks with the medicine importers and they expressed their willingness to bear the loss occurred due to the reduced prices. Therefore, the association requests all member pharmacists to pass these benefits to the consumers from today.
The government stresses that it will not cause any injustice to Aswasuma beneficiaries. The government informed the relevant beneficiaries to submit their appeals before the 10th of next month without being misled by some elements that are attempting to gain political mileage through this issue. The appeals of the Aswasuma applicants whose names are not included in the relief list were handed over to the relevant divisional secretariats today. In several places, such beneficiaries staged protest campaigns against the Aswasuma beneficiary scheme. A media briefing was held today at the Government Information Department to enlighten the public in this regard. Chairman of the Welfare Benefits Board, B. Vijayaratna, said that about 5.7 million families have been affected due to the economic crisis and the pandemic situation in the country. About 30% of the population have fallen into the poverty category. The government is aware of this situation. However, due to lack of funds, only a limited number of families can be benefited. The government expects to provide relief to about 2 million families.
A fundamental rights petition was filed before the Supreme Court today, requesting a prevention order to stop slashing the loans obtained by the Employees Provident Fund and the Employees Trust Fund under the proposed local debt restructuring process. The petition was filed by Intercompanies Employees Trade Union. The trade union and its president Vasantha Samarasinghe, secretary Janaka Adhikari and 4 others filed a petition naming 46 respondents, including the Monetary Board of the Central Bank, Governor Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe, heads of EPF and ETF funds, the Prime Minister and the Cabinet members and Attorney General. The petitioners pointed out that there are about 20 million active accounts belonging to the working class within the Employees Provident Fund. In addition, there are about 2.6 million member accounts in the Employees Trust Fund. 93% of funds belonging to the EPF have been invested in treasury bills and bonds issued by the central bank. The petitioners state accordingly about 2,390 billion rupees of the EPF have been invested in state sovereign bonds and treasury bills. In addition, 86% of the Employees Trust Fund, amounting to 352.5 billion rupees, have been issued as loans. If the government slash these loans, the members of the Employees Provident Fund and the Employees Trust Fund will be severely affected. Therefore, the petitioners requested the Supreme Court to issue a suspension order against slashing these loans. The petitioners further requested the Supreme Court to issue an interim order preventing the slash of EPF and ETF funds invested in treasury bills and sovereign bonds until the petition is heard and issuing the final verdict.
The 5th round of talks on the Thailand Free Trade Agreement kicked off in Colombo today.
The talks were held focusing special attention for the Asian countries and in line with President Ranil Wickremesinghe's vision to enhance economic relations with the emerging economies in the region.
Addressing the opening session of talks at the Taj Samudra Hotel in Colombo, mediator of the Sri Lanka delegation of the International Trade Office, KJ Veerasinghe, stated that they are satisfied with the progress of talks with regard to Sri Lanka-Thailand Free Trade Agreement. The next round of talks will be held in Thailand from the 21st to 23rd of August. The Sri Lanka-Thailand Free Trade Agreement is to be signed in March 2024. The final rounds of talks is to be held in February next year. Mr. Veerasinghe further said that 3 more rounds of talks have been scheduled to be conducted before the final round of talks. The 5th round of talks will end on the 28th Wednesday. President Ranil Wickremesinghe expects to expand Sri Lanka's economic approach within the South Asian region, and later it is to be expanded towards East Asia. Mr. Veerasinghe stressed that talks have already been conducted with the General Secretary and other top officials of the Asian Secretariat. He further said that Sri Lanka expects assistance of Thailand to join with Regional Comprehensive Economic Cooperation. Director General of Thailand Trade Talks Department Auraman Suptavin participated in these talks online. Thai Ambassador in Sri Lanka George Han Paul and members of Thailand delegation, President Senior Advisor on International Media Shenuka Siniviratna and some Sri Lankan members participated at the talks. The validity of fertilizer vouchers has been extended up to December this year.
Minister Mahinda Amaravira says that this decision has been taken considering the requests made by the farmer associations. It is reported that there is no need of fertilizer at present for farmers in several districts. Harvesting of the Yala season in the northern and northern central provinces and several districts including Ampara began at present. However, the vouchers issued are valid only for 2 more months to make farmers use their vouchers to purchase urea and other fertilizer as well. The validity of the vouchers has been extended up to December. The minister stated that therefore the farmers are able to purchase the requested varieties of fertilizer using these vouchers without hassle. Minister Mahinda Amaravira said that accordingly these vouchers can be used up to next Maha season. Farmers in the Anuradhapura and Polonnaruwa districts are now in need of fertilizer. However, in some areas harvesting season has started. Some farmers are rushing queues to purchase fertilizer for these vouchers. The minister added that due to the extension of the validity of vouchers, farmers should not panic to purchase fertilizer.
The International Day for Eliminating Drug Abuse and Illegal Transport falls today. A special program was held in Colombo to mark this day. Special attention was focused at this program on how to revise the national policy on drugs abuse prevention and control. A special seminar and a workshop were held today in this connection. This has been organised under the patronage of Minister Tiran Alas. It has been jointly organised by the National Dangerous Drugs Control Board and Colombo Plan Organisation. Many government and non-governmental organisations and various institutions participated at this programme. The basic foundation was arranged to prepare a common national policy to control supply of illegal drugs and to minimise demand. Chairman of the National Dangerous Drugs Control Board, Shakya Nanayakara, says that the agreements and views taken at this workshop will be taken up to implementation level within 2 or 3 months. Secretary to the Ministry of Public Defence P.V. Gunathilaka, country representative of JICA Yamada Tetsuya, Director General of Colombo Plan Benjamin P. Reyes and several others were present at this occasion. More stories right after this break.
මානවර පොත් දැක්ව 2023 ජූලි 26 සිට ජූලි 2 වෙනිදා දක්වා පෙරවරු 9 සිට පස්වරු 7 තෙක් කැන්ඩි සිටි සෙන්ටර්ෙහිදී සංවිධානය ශ්‍රී ලංකා පොත් ප්‍රකාශකයින්ගේ සංගමය
வெளிநாட்டிலிருந்து பணத்தை மக்கள் வங்கிக்கு அனுப்பி வாராந்தம் 1 லட்சம் ரூபாய், மாதாந்தம் 1 மில்லியன் ரூபாய், ஆண்டிறுதியில் மாபெரும் சீட்டெழுப்பில் 1 கோடி ரூபாயினை வெல்லுங்கள். பீப்பிள்ஸ் ரெமிட்டன்ஸ் கோடி அதிர்ஷ்டம். நேரடியாக அனுப்புங்கள், பெரும் வெற்றி காணுங்கள்.
Welcome back, and in more local stories, State Minister of Foreign Affairs in Romania, Troin Risti, says that his country will extend support to extend the GSP Plus tax concession to Sri Lanka.
He made these remarks when he met Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena at the Temple Trees. The Romanian State Minister and the Prime Minister held talks on bilateral relations, economic cooperation, investment opportunities and problems pertaining to employment. The Romanian State Minister thanked the Sri Lankan government for its decision to open Sri Lankan embassy in the Romanian capital, Bucharest. Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena thanked the Romanian government for providing many employment opportunities for Sri Lankans during the past few years. Romania has become a popular destination for Sri Lankan migrant workers since 2016. It is reported that over 32,000 Sri Lankans are engaged in employment in many sectors in Romania. The Romanian State Minister of Foreign Affairs pointed out that many more Sri Lankan migrant workers can be provided with employment in Romania as a big development drive is in operation in their country. The Prime Minister also requested the Romanian minister to consider employment opportunities in Sri Lanka. Several officials of the Romanian embassy were also present at this discussion. Today is the 8th day of the annual Asala festival of the historic Ruhunu Kataragama Devalaya.
Today's Perahara started a parade in the streets from the Mahadevalaya premises.
Surituni Kataragama 2023 official media sponsor Jat Rupavahini. Today is the 8th day of the annual Asala festival of the Ruhunu Mahakataragama Devalaya. Today is a Monday, a weekday, but we see how so many people have come to the Kataragama sacred area to witness the annual procession, paying obeisance to God Skanda Kumara and giving prosperity to the whole country. So all preparations were made for tonight's procession from the morning itself, and so many fantastic, exciting dance performances from our Sri Lankan dancing styles such as Udrat Pahatata and Sabaragamu, for example the Asne dance, Mangalam dance, etc. And also Hindu traditional dancing such as the peacock dance, Kavadi dance, and also folk dance from Sri Lankan culture and also Hindu culture such as Patur dance, Likeli dance, etc. So many exciting things tonight as well. For more updates, please stay tuned with Jat Rupavahini. This was Surituni Kataragama 2023.
Today is the 4th day of Khanda Surindu Vandana Batipudahara Sara program.
The motorcade with divine jewellery started its journey from Matale and ended in Talavakale today. The motorcade is to travel up to Kataragama.
ප්‍රධාන අනුග්‍රහය රටක් පුබුදන රයිගම් දෙවැනි එක 100% සහල් නූඩල්ස් කදිර දිව්‍ය රාජ චිත්‍රපටය අගෝස්තු 3 වනදා සිට දිවයින පුරා සිනමාහල්වල.
The motorcade will pass Talavakale and end today's journey in Hatton. Religious affairs will be held at the Hatton Church tomorrow. The national television invites the public to take part in this religious event and to be with the national television.
The Court of Appeal has issued a writ order against the summons issued by the 4th Magistrates Court against senior DIG in charge of the Western Province, Deshabandhu Tennakone. Now, the Court of Appeal issued this order declaring the verdict of the petition filed by Deshabandhu Tennakone. A panel of judges, including President of the Appeals Court Nishanka Bandula Karunaratne and Judge A. Marika, has issued this order. The Court of Appeal also dismissed a letter issued by the Attorney General requesting to make senior DIG Deshabandhu Tennakone as a suspect of the incident of attacking the struggle at Galface on the 9th of May last year. The Colombo 4th Magistrates Court has issued summons to senior DIG Deshabandhu Tennakone to appear before court as a suspect over the incident where a sum of over 17.8 million rupees has been discovered at the President's house in Colombo when the protesters entered it.
Attention has been focused to remove the beggars from the Galface Green. The Ports Authority and the police are scheduled to implement a joint program in this regard. Many people have used to come to Galface Green in Colombo to spend their time leisurely. However, it is reported that about 150 beggars are begging at the Galface grounds, causing nuisance to the general public. Many individuals have made complaints to the Ministry of Ports, Naval and Aviation Services against these beggars. A discussion in this connection was held at the Ministry's auditorium under the patronage of Minister Nimal Siripala de Silva. Minister Nimal Siripala de Silva said that the Ports Authority is responsible to keep the area clean and without causing any inconvenience for the public. The beggars roaming here will be taken to Ridiyagama welfare camp. The minister added that if some dilapidated buildings are renovated and were provided with more facilities, 100 or 150 more beggars can be settled there. This is to be implemented as a social welfare project.
මුදල් වෙනත් දේවල් ලබා දුන්නොත් තවත් 100ක් 150ක් විතර රඳවා තැබීමට පුළුවන් කියලා. ඒ නිසා සමාජ සත්කාර ව්‍යාපෘතියක් හැටියට
Accordingly, beggars who are begging in the Galface Green area will be removed from the premises in future. Sri Lanka Ports Authority and allied bodies have decided to provide required financial grants to carry out this as a social welfare project.
The special lottery titled Valampuri has been released to the market today. Now, the Valampuri lottery ticket is valued at 50 rupees. This is the fifth draw of the Valampuri lottery. Prizes from 10,000 rupees to 6 million rupees will be offered from this lottery draw. This attractive lottery also offers a brand new motor car as well. A winner of a super jackpot of 99.9 million worth cheque was offered at this event. Cheques were also handed over to 8 winners of 1 million rupees of the other Kotipati lottery draw, 4 million rupees winners of Kapruka lottery draw, 3 1 million rupees winners of Shanida lottery draw, and 10 million rupee winners of Super Ball lottery draw were also offered with relevant cheques at this event.
Kalavavan National Wildlife Sanctuary has become heaven for wild elephants these days. However, it is visible that some persons are attempting to chase these elephants away. Kalavavan National Wildlife Sanctuary is a significant region specially to where wild elephants. Many local and foreign tourists come in groups to this area to view wild herds of elephants. In addition, the area, colourful with huge trees, is popular for photographers and nature lovers. However, arrival of wild elephants in this area was limited in the past few years. Due to increase of water level in the Kalawev reservoir, many low-lying areas with green pastures have gone underwater due to this reason. Now that water level has gone down and wild elephants are free to roam around in the meadows and lowlands. A certain group is attempting to chase these wild elephants away. One of our camera captures a rare scene. A wild elephant is trying to attack this group. Foreign news on the other side of this break.
Prima, cut to me, fantamai.
Hundreds of thousands of Muslim pilgrims have started the Hajj pilgrimage in Saudi Arabia, first without any restrictions since the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020. Teenager Suleiman Dawood, who died in the Titan submersible, took his Rubik's Cube with him. According to official figures, around 1.6 million people arrived from abroad alone, while 2 million pilgrims are expected in total. The pandemic forced a downsizing of the annual event of 3 consecutive years in 2020. Only a few thousand residents in the kingdom performed the Hajj under strict social distancing since 2021. Around 60,000 residents took part. Last year, around 1 million pilgrims performed the Hajj after it was opened again for Muslims abroad. Before the pandemic, around 2.5 million Muslims from all over the world usually gathered every year for Islam's largest congregation in the holy city of Mecca. The Hajj, one of Islam's 5 pillars, is a mandatory duty for all Muslims once in a lifetime if they possess enough financial resources and are physically capable of undertaking the journey.
Teenager Suleiman Dawood, who died in the Titan submersible, took his Rubik's Cube with him because he wanted to break a world record. His mother has told the BBC. The 19-year-old applied to the Guinness World Records, and his father, Shahzada, who also died, had brought a camera to capture the moment. Christine Dawood and her daughter were on board the Polar Prince, the sub's support vessel, when word came through that communications with the Titan had been lost. In her first interview, Mrs. Dawood said she had planned to go with her husband to view the wreck of the Titanic, but the trip was cancelled because of the COVID pandemic. As well as Suleiman and his father Shahzada Dawood, 3 other people died on board.
Oh, great job!
A lot of mistakes.
We were all, well, we all thought they're just going to come up. So that shock was delayed by about 10 hours or so. By the time they were supposed to be up again, like there was a time, I don't remember the time, but where they were supposed to be up on the surface again, and when that time passed, that's when the real shock, and not shock, but when the worry and the not so good feeling started.
Did you have hope throughout the search?
Yes, we had loads of hope. I think that was the only thing that got us through it, because we were hoping, and there was, we talked about, you know, things the pilots can do, like dropping weights, and, you know, there were so many actions the people on the sub can do. Suleiman did not go anywhere without his Rubik's Cube. He said, I'm gonna solve the Rubik's Cube at 3,700 meters below ground, below sea, at the Titanic, and he was so excited about this.
What were your last moments or words that you shared with your husband and son? Do you remember that?
Well, we just hugged and joked, actually, because Shahzada was so excited to go down. He was like a little child. So the sentence we lost Com, I think that would be a sentence I would never want to hear in my life again. Past the 96 hours, that's when I lost. And that's when I even then sent a message to my family on shore. I said, I'm preparing for the worst. And I miss them. And I really, really miss them.
Drone footage captured over the last weekend shows a super curious humpback whale following and swimming beside a kayaker in the waters in Sydney's Bondi Beach. The whales are always a treat as they cruise up the coast during migration season. Drone pilot Jason Eagleton, who posted the video in his Instagram account, told Reuters. Drone pilot Jason Eagleton captured footage of a humpback whale following a kayaker near Bondi Beach in Sydney, Australia. A record 5,092 whales were spotted from various points along the New South Wales coast last Sunday as a part of an annual census conducted during the migration season.
Prima Katami Fantamai.
Taking a look at your sports news tonight, Sri Lanka will play the final match of the World Cup ODI qualifier against Scotland tomorrow. Sri Lanka has won all the 3 matches played so far against UAE, Oman and Ireland.
Scotland team will also meet Sri Lanka undefeated by winning all 3 qualifier matches. The Sri Lanka-Scotland match will begin at 12:30 p.m. Sri Lankan time tomorrow in Bulawayo. Scotland defeated Oman yesterday by 76 runs. Batting first, Scotland scored 320 runs. In reply, the Oman team could only score 244 runs. For the Super 6 round, Zimbabwe, Netherlands and West Indies have qualified from Group A, while Sri Lanka, Scotland and Oman have qualified from the Group B. Three-match ODI series between New Zealand and Sri Lanka women's teams will begin tomorrow at the Galle International Stadium. The next 2 matches will be played on the 30th of this month and the 3rd of next month. 3 T20 matches will also be played by the 2 teams. These matches will be played in the R. Premadas International Cricket Grounds in Colombo. The 11th Asian Shooters Training Camp and a training camp for trainers were kicked off yesterday for the first time under the patronage of President of Asian Shooting Federation Sheikh Salman Al Shaba.
Prima Katami Fantamai.
And with that, we conclude tonight's English News on Rupavahini. I'm Kasani signing off together with Siobhan. We'll see you tomorrow. Good night.
Good night.
உங்கள் மனதின் சந்தோஷ கதவுகளை அதிர்ஷ்டத்தின் மூலமாக திறப்பதற்கான சாவிகளை வாரத்தின் 7 நாட்களிலும் உங்கள் அபிமானத்திற்குரிய சீட்டெடுப்புகள் மூலமாக வாரி வழங்கும் மற்றொரு DLB லாட்டரி ஷோவின் வாயிலாக சந்திப்பதில் மிகுந்த மகிழ்ச்சி அடைகின்றோம். இன்றைய நாளிலும் உங்கள் அபிமானத்திற்குரிய அத்தனை சீட்டெடுப்புகளுமே உங்களுக்காக காத்திருக்கின்றன. எனினும் அவற்றை பார்வையிடுவதற்கு முன்னராக விசேடமான மகிழ்ச்சிகரமான ஞாபகப்படுத்தல்களை உங்களுக்காக நாங்கள் வழங்கப் போகின்றோம். இம்மாதம் 28ஆம் தேதி, அதாவது நாளை மறுதினம் உங்களுக்காக காத்திருக்கிறது அத விசேட கோட்டிபதி சீட்டெழுப்பு. உங்களுக்கு தெரியும், அத கோட்டிபதியின் வளமையான பணப்பரிசுகளான 5 கோடியை கடந்த மிக பிரமாண்டமான ஜாக்பாட் பணப்பரிசு, 10 லட்சம் ரூபாய், 1 லட்சம் ரூபாய், இன்னும் ஏராளமான பணப்பரிசுகள் இருக்கின்றன. இவற்றிற்கு மேலதிகமாக விசேட தொடர்லக்கங்களை பொருத்துவதன் மூலமாக 1 லட்சம் ரூபாய் மற்றும் 50,000 ரூபாய் பணப்பரிசுகளை நீங்கள் வெல்லலாம். 6 தொடர்லக்கங்களை கொண்ட இலக்கங்களை பொருத்துவதன் மூலமாக 1 லட்சம் ரூபாய் பணப்பரிசுகளையும், 5 தொடர்லக்கங்களை கொண்ட இலக்கங்களை பொருத்துவதன் மூலமாக ஏராளமான 50,000 ரூபாய் பணப்பரிசுகளையும் நீங்கள் வெல்லலாம். எனவே அதிகமாக கொள்ளணும் செய்யுங்கள் அத விசேட கோட்டிபதி சீட்டெடுப்புக்கான லொத்த டிக்கெட்டுகளை. 50 அல்லது 50க்கு மேற்பட்ட எண்ணிக்கையில் லொத்த டிக்கெட்டுகளை நீங்கள் கொள்ளணும் செய்ய வேண்டுமாயின் அவற்றை நீங்கள் இருக்கும் இடத்திற்கே கொண்டு வந்து தருவதற்கும் நாங்கள் ஆயத்தங்களை மேற்கொண்டிருக்கின்றோம். நீங்கள் செய்ய வேண்டியது வார நாட்களில், அலுவலக நேரங்களில் இந்த தொலைபேசி இலக்கங்களுக்கு அழைப்பினை ஏற்படுத்துவதுதான். தொலைபேசி இலக்கங்கள் இவைதான்: 0114 062 002, 0114 062 065, 0114 824 801, இறுதியாக 0114 824 802. தொலைபேசி அழைப்பின் மூலமாக லொத்த டிக்கெட்டுகளை கொள்வனவு செய்யக்கூடிய அதிர்ஷ்டசாலிகளில் 10 அதிர்ஷ்டசாலிகளை குலுக்கல் முறையில் வாராந்தம் தெரிவு செய்து உங்களுக்குரிய பரிசில்களையும் நீங்கள் இருக்கும் இடத்திற்கே கொண்டு வந்து தருவதற்கும் நாங்கள் ஆயத்தங்களை மேற்கொண்டிருக்கின்றோம். அது மாத்திரமன்றி டிஎல்பியின் லொத்த டிக்கெட்டுகளை நீங்கள் கொள்வனவு செய்த உடனேயே உங்களுடைய பெயர் மற்றும் தேசிய அடையாள அட்டை இலக்கத்தினை அதன் பின்புறத்திலே குறித்து வைத்துக் கொள்ளுங்கள். உங்களுடைய அடையாளத்தினை உறுதிப்படுத்துவதற்கு இது பெரிதும் கை